Welcome, hello everybody, to the first Durham Middlefield Local Wellness Coalition meeting. So it is hosted by me. My name is Jade Adelbert. I am the Director of Prevention Programs at Durham Middlefield Youth and Family Services. I'm also a licensed clinical therapist associate, and I see clients in private practice. Before joining the community, I was getting my master's degree at Johns Hopkins University and working as a primary therapist at an inpatient addiction treatment center. I've worked in the addiction recovery space for over 8 years in a number of different settings, places, and levels of care. So by the time I moved to Connecticut, I realized that I had seen a lot of what treatment looks like for addiction and trauma. And I really wanted to take what I learned and implement that into more prevention strategies. Today, I'm just a brief little agenda. I'm going to do a couple of introductions to what coalitions are and what Durham Middlefield Youth and Family Services is. Then we're going to talk about the Local Wellness Coalition, ending with just kind of a brief community needs assessment, and then talking about next steps. I'm going to try to fly through this because I want to get to the talking part for us. So what is a coalition? So basically, a local coalition is a community-based organization of concerned citizens that are working together for a common goal. By pooling resources and collaborating, coalitions create effective strategies to address challenges. Local coalitions amplify voices and provide a deeper response.
Jade?
Yeah.
I'm not seeing the slides index. I don't know if that's just me or.
Not in presentation mode at all.
Not seeing it either.
Yep.
Hold on, like this.
You got to do slideshow from in the presentation mode.
Is it in presentation mode right now?
No, the top of the slide, the screen, it should say slideshow. Start from the beginning. Once you hit slideshow, then it'll say to the left, start from the beginning.
All right. So
you see at the top where it's, oh, there you go. You got it.
Is it working now?
Yeah, perfect.
Yep. I am so sorry about that.
No worries.
So coalitions. Basically, a coalition is a group of people working together, pooling together resources, expertise to understand what issues are going on in the community, and then working together to find solutions to those issues. The coalition, especially what's like a really important part of this specific coalition, is that it serves as an advisory board to the Durham Middlefield Youth and Family Services. What does DMYFS do? Great question. The mission of Durham Middlefield Youth and Family Services is to strengthen our community by empowering children and families to make positive choices, promoting health and resilience, and fostering a supportive environment. We achieve this by decreasing risk factors and increasing protective factors through prevention, intervention, treatment, and community building strategies. So this is a little infographic that just kind of shows what DMYFS does. Basically, boil it down: prevention, intervention, treatment. And we do that in a number of different ways. If you want more information, you can also go onto the DMYFS website, which is dmyfs.org. So the Local Wellness Coalition. So I'm not sure if there are people who have been on the Local Wellness Coalition in the past, but this is kind of a revamped version that we're trying to go forward with. So the mission, as it was when it started, is the mission is to reduce the harm of alcohol, tobacco, marijuana, and other drugs in our towns through community action, education, support, and collaboration. Basically, this coalition does that by following the five steps of the strategic prevention framework, and it's used by many coalitions. I'm just going to fly through them because just for time. Basically, the 5 steps are assessing what the needs and what the issues are of the community, building the capacity of the community's resources and readiness to address the assessed needs, plan how to address the community's needs in the most effective and efficient way, implement evidence-based programs and practices as intended, and then evaluate the process and outcomes of programs and practices. I also wanted to write that when I last saw, I didn't see a vision and values of this organization, and that's something that I would like to, if everybody is open to that, eventually in more of our meetings kind of come to an understanding of what the vision of this coalition is and some of the values. So now I want to get to this part. This is the meat, kind of member. So this is member introductions. I'd like everybody to go around and state their name and maybe like what role you hold in the community, or if you're not in the community, just a little bit about you. And then you can answer all or one of these questions. What motivated you to join the Local Wellness Coalition? What do you think is the greatest need in our community? And what would you like the vision of the Local Wellness Coalition to be? Because this is a virtual meeting, I think the easiest way would be if I called on people, but now I'm wondering, how am I, oh, can you still see my screen? Oh, perfect. So, and now I can see everybody at the same time, so this is perfect. So I'm going to start, and then maybe I'll kind of go through the people as I see them, and you unmute and introduce yourself. That'd be great. So I'm going to start. My name is Jade Adalbert, of course. I'm the director of the director of prevention programs at DMLWC. I think the greatest need in our community is an understanding of what the issues in our community are, and then I think that's the biggest issue, is that we don't necessarily know what those are. And then we also, I feel like we don't necessarily know what resources that are available at this time. So that's kind of what my feelings are. And the vision I have for the Local Wellness Coalition is for it to be a really functional, strong group of people who are able to go through those 5 steps, know and have a pulse on what is needed in the community, and then come together and advise the DMLWC. Okay, so the first person on that I'd like to unmute would be Jennifer, if that's okay. Can you unmute and introduce yourself, name, role, what motivated you?
Sure. Hi, I'm Jen Simmons. I'm a licensed professional counselor, and I own a private practice, Open Minds Counseling, that's located on Main Street in Durham. And I also live here in Durham as well. And, why I would like to be a part of the Wellness Coalition is to be able to stay in communication with other community providers as well as other stakeholders to make sure that we are working smarter, not harder, in our uses of our resources and addressing, the issues that our community, or the wellness issues that our community faces.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Tri-Circle, if you are there.
Hello, my name is Anna Gopian, and I'm executive director to Tri-Circle, a nonprofit helping individuals, families, and communities affected by addiction. And I had the honor and privilege of meeting with Claudia, forward to some future engagements, but had at one point in time provided hope and support and hope after loss groups right in town. So I wanted people to know better about the resources we provide. We're Department of Mental Health Addiction Services. We have funding from that, and then multiple other resources and engagements in Region 2. So just wanted to sit in the meeting, get to know people, and make sure folks know if there's something that we can do to help. We are there. We also have clinical services.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anna. Sadie.
Good afternoon or evening, I should say, everyone. My name is Sadie Witherspoon. I'm with the Connecticut Center for School Safety and Crisis Preparation. I am the, excuse me, Regional School Safety Coordinator for the South Central Region. I serve 26 school districts, and Durham Middlefield is one of the districts that I serve. I have a clinical counseling background. Um, what motivated me to join was to get to know the community better and to find out what the needs are for the school community when it comes to school safety. Um, and that's why I'm here. I wanted to make sure that my face is recognizable and I can recognize other folks, and hopefully we will have a long future of working together.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sadie. Denise.
Sure. Yeah. Good evening. Denise Fudge. I'm in the community in Middlefield and also on the board of DMYFS. And definitely in terms of the greatest need, definitely learning through our survey data. And then, you know, again, also other connections and networking like this. But definitely mental health is definitely top of mind.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Denise. John.
Hi, me? Yeah. Hi, I'm John Dunwick. I was asked to sit in. I am I guess a representative from the Cub Scouts and the Boy Scouts in town. We have a very large group in both of those age groups. We do a lot of like community service type stuff. We help out with the what's it called, the community roundup, and I don't really know what the needs are as far as all this goes. So I'm just kind of sitting in. I'd like to learn more and see if there's ways that we can kind of connect with everybody.
Of course. Thank you so much, John. I appreciate you coming. Martin.
Hi, everybody. I'm Martin Anderson. I am the chair of the board of directors for DMYFS. And what motivated me to join this was because we realized how important it was to get this coalition going again. I'm a former school psychologist. I worked in some of the poorest rural school districts in Oklahoma for years, right after the Education for All Handicapped Children Act was passed. And I've always still been interested in what we're doing in the communities, what we're doing for kids. And so part of getting involved with DMYFS back June, July of 2023 was kind of getting back into that. And I'm retired. I'm also on the board of Root Center for Advanced Recovery. So I see a lot of what's going on the treatment side, at least for opioid addiction. And I think the greatest need, spoken too broadly, but we kind of don't know what we don't know for what's going on here in our communities. I live in Durham, but in Middlefield as well, obviously, because we're serving them. And so part of a lot of what I'm doing is really no kind of policy body or people really working on what sort of programs do we need on the ground, what sort of needs are we trying to address, and so we're really kind of a consolidator of thinking in that area to see what are the needs, what do we need to be doing, and try and marshal the efforts in order to make things happen that way. So good to see everybody, and thank you for being here, by the way.
Thank you, Martin. Claudia.
Hi, I'm Claudia White. I'm the Executive Director of DMYFS. And I feel it's very important to hear the voices of members in the community, especially this coalition, as we build a way for DMYFS to have have the coalition be an advisory role. We want to do what makes sense. We want to do what the important work that we're hearing from people in all the various sectors in our community. So I thank everyone for being here. And I think this is a really great start to move us in a good direction. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudia. Jen Keene.
Hey, everybody. I am the Director of Student Services and Special Education in District 13. I think I have met the majority of you on this call, and I have to say I am so thankful for you, Jade and Claudia, for all the work that you have, hard work that you have stepped up and started in your new roles in Middlefield Youth and Family Services, and I'm very thrilled about this collaboration. I think you are all my village, personally and professionally, and I think for me, I, I, I I'd like more information on pinpointing what our needs are, rather than going on my opinion or things that I see. Or I, I, I think a few of you have talked about our community surveys and really looking at where the needs are in our community, and then looking at how we can best address those. So thank you all for taking the time out of your busy lives and helping our community. And this is a really nice turnout, and I'm excited for this work with all of you.
Thank you so much, Jen. Yeah, I appreciate that. And talking about the community survey is definitely something that is really high up on our list for the coalition. Aria.
Hi, I'm Aria. I'm the public health nurse from South Central Health District. We're the local health department for the towns of Southington, Plainville, and Middlefield. What motivated, I think, us to join, and Athlete, I'm sure, is on, and she'll share her thoughts. But what motivated, I think, both of us to join is to learn the needs in Middlefield as well, which is what I think a lot of you guys have been saying, where we can assist, what types of programming may be lacking that we can fill in. We have different divisions. We have community health, which is Athley and I. We have environmental. They're the ones that come in and they inspect your restaurants, your salons, your daycares. Community health, we monitor your infectious disease, your lead poisoned children. We come in and do your blood pressure screenings at the community center. We coordinate vaccine clinics. And then we also have our third division, which is emergency preparedness, where Dave comes in and discusses emergency plans with the community. So that's what we do, and just trying to figure out what services we can provide and how we can be helpful.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Aria. Hannah and Crystal.
Hi everyone, I'm Hannah. This is Crystal. I grew up here in Middlefield, and then we both went to college out in California and recently moved back. We don't really have any idea what's going on in the community, and we just wanted to learn more about what the Local Wellness Coalition is all about and how we can get more involved in Durham and Middlefield.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hannah and Crystal. I appreciate that. I think it's really awesome that you were born and raised here and you left and then you came back. It really shows how connected people really are in this community. Thank you. Nailani.
Yep, it's Nalani. Good evening, everyone. I'm Nalani Shankar. I'm the school psychologist at Brewster Elementary School. So I'm really excited about this local wellness coalition. I'm motivated because I know a lot about the town that I live in, like the resources in the community, but not too much about the resources in the town that I work in. I mean, I know a little bit, but I'm just looking to, have the new resources out there. I was motivated just, for networking purposes, just to learn of the new outside therapists in the Durham Middlefield community, and just to collaborate with outside resources. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Nalani. Sorry about that. Ray.
Hi, I'm Ray Johansson. I'm a 10th grader at Coggins Regional High School. I'm the vice president of the Edge Club there, and I just really felt like joining because I've been in Edge for a good number of years now, and I really like the work we do there, especially the stuff we do around town, and just kind of for the schools, and so I thought this would be a good extension of that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ray. Yeah, the Edge Club is a prevention club at the school. There's one at the high school as well as the middle school, and EDGE stands for Excellent Decisions Guiding Every Day. So that's what Ray's talking about. C. LaRosa.
That's me. My name is Carolyn LaRosa. I am a teacher at Strong Middle School, and I'm also live in town. I am here just to see how we can help at Strong. I know you guys do some great connections already at Strong and do some awesome stuff, including the EDGE program. But I'm seeing how I can help spread the word to parents and students, at least in the Strong community, if not more.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Carolyn. Sherry.
Hi, good evening. I'm Sherry Carlson. I'm the public health nurse for Durham. I also cover 6 other towns along the shore, along the river, all the way down to Saybrook and over to Clinton. I sit on 3 other coalition boards, and I agree with all of you on the importance of us not guessing what are the issues, because they are different in every community. I love that Ray is here. I found a lot of success in other coalitions when the kids are actually the ones telling us what's going on. We don't want to guess. We want to be there for what their needs are, be there to support them. And not everything is going to be about all the things that they're doing on the negative side, but supporting them on all the things they're doing in resistance as well. We are here to support you. We deal with a lot of the opiate. We support all the grants from the public health side to you, that it's a good cause. So that's what I'm here for.
Thank you so much, Sherry. I really appreciate that. I am also very happy and excited that Ray is here. I think when I was talking to the EDGE Club, I was like, this is super important. We want to represent youth, but a lot of the people who are going to be in this coalition are not youth and haven't been youth for a little bit now. And so now I'm like trying to figure out what's going on with the youth. It's just easier if we get it right from those who are living it every day. So thank you. Morgan.
Hi, everyone. Morgan Perry, the Social Services Coordinator for the town of Durham. Really glad these are starting up again. I know in the past they were doing the surveys and they were super helpful. And one of the biggest needs from that was, and likely still is, the mental health side is huge, and the anxieties. But yeah, and then for the overarching vision, if I remember right, I think there's the 8 dimensions of wellness. So that would be hard to tackle them all, but working together, it's great to see so many different roles here. Who knows, maybe we could do that. So thank you.
Awesome. That is awesome. That's a great vision. Thank you so much, Morgan. Lynn.
Hi, I'm Lynn Hetrick. I'm a board member of DMYFS and also a strong advocate for the LGBTQ community. And I am excited to help in whatever way. And I'd really like to help support the families of queer kids so to survive the next 4 years and get into the schools to help the kids out.
Thank you so much, Lynn. Athlete.
Hi everyone, my name is Ashley and I work as a community health specialist over at South Central Health District. Aria kind of gave a rundown of what we do, but what motivated me to join the coalition is just to learn more about Middlefield and like the community and what their needs are, so that when we're planning programming in the future, we have a better idea and cater it to what they need. And I think in terms of what I think the greatest need in the community is, I'm honestly not sure, and that's what I would like to know and hope to gain insight on being a part of the coalition. And I think a vision that I have for the coalition is just increasing accessibility to resources and knowledge of it, and how to keep people engaged and keep people like coming to utilize these resources.
That's awesome. Yeah, I agree. That's very, very important. Thank you so much, Athlete. Holly.
Hi, my name's Holly Maturo. I'm a community response team clinician with Gilead and Oak Hill. I've been a member of the Durham community for about 6 years now, but really haven't had any involvement in it. So I'm looking to sort of get involved, and this is kind of my wheelhouse. And I see a lot of need, and it all starts with the youth. So I'm hoping to be able to collaborate and just be able to provide some resources and just become further involved in my community.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Holly. Is there anyone who, I think I got through everybody. If there's anyone who was not called on and would like to speak up, now would be a great time. I'm also going to stop the presentation. So hopefully now it's just, we're seeing each other right now. So I heard a lot of people talk about this community survey, and so I kind of wanted to like talk a little bit on that and what the purpose and the importance of the community survey. So I know that I like kind of ran through it, but in the PowerPoint under the Local Wellness Coalition, there were those 5 steps for the strategic prevention framework. And that first one is really understanding what the needs are and assessing what's going on in the community. Every 2 years, the Local Wellness Coalition has implemented a school-wide survey, kind of just to get a little bit more information on what the needs of the community are and the needs of what the students are. It goes from 7th grade, so who takes the survey are the 7th graders to the 12th graders. And the last time that it was completed was in 2022. Right now, Claudia and I are working diligently to get the next iteration of the survey into the school this year, hopefully. We're still working out a lot of different things, but that's kind of where we're going. The survey, I don't know if anyone has seen it around, but a lot of our data that we use, not only at like for applying for grants and with DMYFS, we use that information. But if I'm not mistaken, maybe Jen Keene or someone else from the school district can speak a little bit more on the importance of this survey. And if there is more, like if you do use this survey in the school.
Yes. Yes, we have, Jade. Last time in 2022, we took the results of your survey and analyzed it in conjunction with our school climate survey, and then tried to, make programming and um, interventions based on both. But, you know, every 2 years, it feels like it was a lot longer than just 2 years ago, to be quite honest with you. So I am anxious to get both our surveys, the results. We do our school climate survey in March, and it just is so informative on how to drive our practice, and where the needs are. And like you said, I'm a little bit, us, us educators are a little bit outside of the realm of where the kids are, even though we see them every day, they're living it. And I think it's the most important thing is to get the voices of our students and in our youth. And we absolutely look at the surveys and take them very seriously, and provide intervention based on them.
Yeah, thank you.
And we've also used them for grants as well.
Yeah.
I should add, as a school as well as the community, I know.
I wanted to share something. Let me see if I can, because of course, let's see if this is going to work. Can you see my screen in this infographic right now? Yes. Okay, cool. So this is an infographic that was used, or that we used, or with information that we used from our 2022 community survey. And I'm not sure if it's zoomed in enough, but basically this is just an infographic with some of the information that is from that survey. We asked questions around substance use, attitudes and feelings towards substance use and different substances, the how available substances are, talk about mental health, depression and anxiety, sources of stress and depression and anxiety, and we talk and a couple of other different like risky, we call it like the risky behaviors. So in addition to like, has anyone driven drunk, binge drank, driven under the influence, violence in relationships, that sort of thing. So we get a lot of information from this, and this is all some results from 2022. Something that Claudia and I are discussing are, we're redoing basically the same survey with the same questions, so we can of course compare it from year to year. But we also are wondering if there are new questions that need to be asked. So in 2022, there was a chunk of the survey that focused on COVID and what the effects of COVID were, and are on the youth, because that was what was like really important and pertinent at the time. And is that what is important and pertinent, what we need to know now? So I think in the last kind of little bit of time, I was wondering if maybe we can kind of, if there are people who are like, I would really like to know this, or I think this is what's going on in our community, and maybe this is something we can ask the youth, just kind of brainstorming, not necessarily saying that we're going to ask these questions in the next survey, because developing survey questions is really not that easy, but just information. What do we want to know?
Hi, this is Anna, and I have a question regarding the questions. I did just upload it to myself to read later, but I am curious to see the questions, especially with some of the youth on the line here. What does it collect as data regarding what happens at home? You know what I mean? Like, so there's school, sometimes that's the safest place for a kid, right? Because home may have its challenges. And how are they able to, communicate? What are their points of contact? you know, who are their go-to people? Like everybody needs safe people, right? And sometimes if the question can be framed right, and of course, as long as it's there's anonymity to the questions and they don't fear a sense of reprisal or something like that. But you know, I don't know if there's a closed suggestion box somewhere, other concerns that may be met, but a lot of times because I personally deal a lot more so with parents, guardians, and loved ones that have someone in their life affected. And then I know it from the other side as well. So I am always wanting to know how could things have been different, if not for myself, but others that I know, if their loved ones knew how to help them and or get the help. Because sometimes I always say it's tough raising parents, right? When there's a role reversal, it's really hard. And it's not a comfortable thing to talk about because it feels like finger pointing when, well, it is. It's still uncomfortable. So I'm just curious how the questions may be framed, and maybe that's the questions that need to be built are for the parent, guardians, and loved ones, in addition to what's being done for the kids.
Remember correctly, I do believe there was a question on there about is there or do the students feel that they have a trusted adult within the school community? Again, I don't remember exactly what the question was, but yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up because that one question has definitely been something that I have thought about in the last few years. I have a couple of teenagers, so it's definitely important to me that they know places that they can go, right, when they do have questions, concerns, you know, whether it's for themselves, for classmates, friends. So yeah, love the question.
Yeah, I've seen those questions, and there is something. Do you have a trusted adult, I think is how the verbiage is, that you can go to as needed. I think the vaping question, if it's not in there, should be in there. I'm seeing it, you know, that is a huge issue everywhere.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sherry. Absolutely. And with there is the trusted adult question, and there's a couple of other questions around family, not dynamics, but like, you know, a little bit more information on like family and like home, and do you feel safe at home, that sort of thing. But
Yeah,
yes,
and
definitely.
I think the vaping questions were on there, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so there's vaping, and there was it specifically around vaping nicotine. I know that there are like the nicotine-free vaping, and I don't, if I remember correctly, there isn't anything specifically around nicotine-free vapes, but just kind of vaping in general. I mean, that's a little bit like a little in the weeds. But that might be, if that's something that is concerning, that might be something to think about.
I want to go back to something that, well, it's a thought in my head, but Lynn prompted it, right? Now in education, with, you know, the introduction of a new president has already changed a number of policies. And I don't know, like politically, I feel like there's, I don't know if our students feel political changes the same way adults feel it. And I'm sure certain protected classes probably do. And I really want to learn about people's perspective and thoughts and feelings on how we can protect all of our citizens in a political climate that might not feel inclusive for all.
It's an interesting. That is incredibly interesting, and also very, very timely. Thank you, Jen.
One thing I'm interested in learning, it may not be through the survey though, is are students who play sports and being medically treated, are they, what kind of prescriptions are they getting? What kind of pain medicine are they getting? And like what that looks like. I'm really curious. Are you getting like 3 pills or are you getting 30 pills? And where that might lead.
Yeah, Claudia, this is Sherry. I'm a public health nurse. There's been a huge campaign out to all orthopedics and oral surgeons over the past 5 years that have addressed this. And actually, some of the things that they are doing is when kids are getting wisdom teeth now, they're getting a nerve block and no pain medicine, only Tylenol and Motrin. So this is a huge thing that is avoiding teenagers starting out on the medication. I know my own son, though, probably 10 years ago, had his appendix out and they gave him 30. Well, I gave him 3. And that was for the first 2 days, and you're doing Tylenol. So it has gone out to the orthopods and to the oral surgeons, and it is helping.
That's great to hear. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you.
That can be expanded to veterinarians too. There's another additional component, especially with the counterfeit pills.
Yeah.
And the One Pill Can Kill campaign is helpful, and it's at no charge through the DEA. Your Elks Lodges that you might be collaborating with at any time too, where there's a lot of educational stuff, but it's the largest drug awareness program in the country. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, and we promote that also in the real estate market. Some people will want to go visit houses, and while they're touring, they will go through their medicine cabinet. So we want people to be aware of that as well.
Yeah. Thank you. Jen Simmons, I think I saw that if you wanted to speak.
Yeah, I really think that the surveys can be so valuable in helping to inform decisions both at the school level, at the local level, but only if we're asking like the really relevant questions, right? Because if we're not asking the right questions, we're not going to get the type of information that's going to impact the work that we're looking to do in the realm of prevention. And so I would really love to take some time, and maybe this is something we do as the coalition, to like look at the newest data and then like reverse engineer, right, to dig for those risk factors, right? So what's the most recent data showing are the risk factors for youth specifically, right? But it could be for all ages. And then kind of tailor the questions in our survey to gauge, right, those specific risks. How high of a risk are, like, you know, the students or individuals, families at, with what we know to be, right, like those really strong indicators of like potential addiction, right? Or, you know, other at-risk behaviors. And I don't know, does this go beyond substance use as well? Like, does this go into involvement in the criminal justice system? Like those particular risk factors, I think would be really helpful, right, in looking at. And really, both of those probably have a lot of overlap in terms of mental health risk factors, right? Like, as we know, people self-medicate because, right, oftentimes it's untreated mental health. And so, yeah, I would love to spend some time really digging into the newest research to make the survey as relevant as possible.
Thank you so much, Jen. Yeah, so because this coalition also serves as an advisory to DMYFS. DMYFS, also a big part of what we do is the Juvenile Review Board. And so having that data to kind of supplement the data that we have with the current and, you know, JRB participants, to kind of have like a currently, you know, the at risk as well as like what's happening right now. So I think that'd be a really good way to kind of provide a bit more advising for us. I do want to just take note of time. We don't have too much longer. Something that I also don't want to put Ray on the spot, because I know that as the only youth here, I don't want to be like, and what do you have to say, as you represent all youth in our community. So if you don't really want to say anything, that's okay. So I'm going to give you an out. But if you
No,
want,
I'll talk. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, I think I know we just did the campaign. I don't know how many people in the community know about it, but we just did the campaign on vaping, and we had Trisha Dahl come in and talk. I definitely think talking about the vaping and putting that in the survey and making it a prevalent thing is good. But not just like maybe talking about like not just asking the questions of, oh, have you vaped or thought about it, but also like asking like how you feel and how comfortable you are in school. Because I know a lot of people I know like at school have talked about how uncomfortable it makes them like walking into a bathroom and just immediately knowing, oh, somebody was just in here vaping, and like how some people like, because it's so like common around school, how that just kind of like influences them. So I definitely think that's like a important thing to touch on. And then obviously like the substance abuse and the mental health is really important because I mean as a 10th grader I'm already thinking about college, so it's already like stress is there. And that starts pretty early on because it's a pretty important thing we talk about even in just like middle school is already something we're talking about. So definitely touching on the mental health aspects as well.
Yeah, thank you so much, Shay.
Can I ask a question?
Mhm.
So you guys have been talking a lot about, substance abuse addiction and stuff like that. Is there anything in the survey about, addictions to electronics and, like people are like, I've got kids too in the high school and the middle school, and luckily I haven't had to deal with any drug problems at this point, but yeah, I can tell you that they are both very, very addicted to electronics, and there have had to been some interventions there.
I had that same question and concern, considering it has the same reaction in the brain as heroin does.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you both. That is something that that I definitely want to have in the next survey. I know that we talk there in the risky behavior section. There is one question on gambling and problem gambling, which also includes sports betting, which not everybody thinks of that when they think of gambling. So that's something that they ask, but absolutely talking about the addiction to the devices. We also have a couple questions around feeling like cyberbullying and anxiety around the like what happens on the devices, but not necessarily the addictive component of them. I'm like, do you feel compelled to be on your phone? Do you feel uncomfortable without it? That sort of thing.
These kids are more savvy on their devices than probably any of us on this call, and they're going to have better access to social media and visibility into things that we're not seeing, and it is a little bit concerning.
Absolutely. I see Morgan also said that online safety is something that is also really important. I'm also curious about what we have, what feelings, what are the attitudes on online safety? Like, is this something that our youth are taking into consideration when they are online? Those are great questions to ask, as well as food insecurity is another one that Morgan is wants to ask about. Something that I was wondering, and I don't know if this, just kind of throwing it out there, but now when I was in school, we didn't have as many, drills, and there wasn't a lot of talk about school shooters and like the mass violence. And now, unfortunately, we do live in a time where that is talked about a lot more. So I'm curious about if that plays a role in the students going to school. Like, is that something that they're nervous about, afraid about, causes any sort of feelings, anxiety? So that's something that you know, I might wonder about in for the future iterations of the survey.
Just to add on to that, that's definitely a good one. But I would also stretch it out to the teachers as well, asking like how they feel about that and how like I know this is crude, but how well prepared they feel. Because I know me personally, just like knowing that my teachers have a plan, or and I know there's been trainings on it and whatever. I think with the SRO as well. But just knowing like maybe that they feel comfortable in their own knowledge is just something that sometimes I think about, and I know people around me have thought about.
That is an amazing point, Ray, and I'm really glad that you brought that up because I know although we're talking about this community survey that goes out to the students, there is a huge portion of the school population in, you know, the teachers, administration, the faculty, staff that are not being surveyed in this particular survey, but still have a lot of information that that is really important when it comes to the students.
I would just like to add, as being someone from the Connecticut Center for School Safety and Crisis Preparation, most of the schools right now that I service, and I said before I service 26 districts, and New Haven alone has 41 schools. So just, you know, imagine the number. But safety is a big concern. And we have been talking a lot with admin leadership in regards to everyone being on the same page when it comes to safety and knowing your incident command system. Who do you rely on when there is a crisis? Are you running around trying to find things? This is supposed to be a part of your school policy that everybody should be familiar with and know who's doing what and when. So we're working a lot with the Department of Emergency Management and Homeland Security on training school officials and training anyone who works with children in regards to threat assessment and in regards to safety. So there are such things as school safety assessments. I've gone out with DEMS, I'm going to call them DEMS, but it's Department of Emergency Management and Homeland Security, where we've gone to a school site and literally, when I say comb through the school, we comb through every part of that school to find out where the gaps are, what needs to be addressed. What is, you'd be surprised in this day and age how many people, and I'll say people because I don't want to pinpoint a particular position, but folks that leave a door open with a brick and it's like in this day and age, yeah, that's a no. And they're like, well, the classroom is hot. Well, I'd rather you be hot and we work on getting you a fan or something than somebody coming in. And it's just amazing, but folks have to learn as they go. So, you know, as long as they're putting forth the effort to get these school safety sites assessments, that's just part of it, and it helps folks feel a little safer.
Yeah.
And just so I've worked with Sadie now for a good 18 months. We've been Sadie it meets with her districts, and we have a district team that regularly attends the school safety meetings. And so, and with our local state troopers and firefighters and first responders, we've done those. But Ray, I think what's important about your question is how are we communicating those types of things out to all the students too? Because we have done all of our faculty safety and response safety protocol meetings as well for all the teachers for the past couple of years. But we don't communicate that out to the general, to all the students or the parents. And I think it's important maybe that we start doing that, a better job at that.
And to just piggyback off of what Jen said.
Where we need to grow. Go ahead. Yeah, no, Carolyn. Yeah, and
no,
where we can grow and better.
I definitely no, and I think we've done a lot in the past few years, and we've grown, and we have like the teachers have a good understanding, but it's also like exactly like how much is conveyed to the students at how comfortable we feel with those situations, and almost asking the student like, do you feel that your teacher who or who's ever in charge of the classroom has, you know, a good understanding, and do you feel safe with them in situations like this is good too, because then we don't know, you know, then we know, you know, if it's more communication that needs to be done with students about how we're handling it, or it's, you know, or, and then doing the same question to the teachers. It's like, how well do the teachers feel? And then how well do the students feel about how the teachers feel?
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense, but.
Thank you so much. I know that we probably have a lot more that we can talk about, and we could probably talk for hours about this. And also recognizing that some of us have just came home from work and we haven't eaten dinner yet. So I want to just respect everyone's time. Although I did start a little bit late. that being said, what are the next steps? So I don't know if there is going to be one representative. Maybe if someone says that is 5:30 a good time, or would you prefer a 6 p.m. start time? Doesn't matter. 5:30 is okay. If there's any issues and you feel very strongly about it, you can email me at jadelbert@dmyfs.org. Our next meeting is going to be, oh goodness, Jade, April 28th. April 28th. That is pretty much the exact, more or less, the right amount of time from this meeting. I'm going to send out a follow-up email probably tomorrow, kind of outlining a little bit about what we talked about, as well as the next meeting being April 28th. I also want to kind of share a little bit that I will be sending some emails out with some information and a couple of next steps, surveys, that sort of thing, just to kind of gauge how we feel about different topics and maybe some ideas that we have. If you're interested in being more involved before the next meeting, if you could send me an email at jadelbert@dmyfs.org, that would be amazing. You can go onto the DMYFS website and you can get all of our contact information there. And I think, I see Claudia, you unmuted, if there's anything else.
Yeah, check out our website for events. And we do have an opioid awareness event on the 24th, Thursday. And we're having a speaker from Today I Matter, and we're collaborating with the Durham Public Library and Tri-Circle, and hopefully having the poster presentations of all the faces of Connecticut people who have died due to overdose, and doing a vigil that night also. I want to make you aware of that, but we have a lot of other things going on, so check out our website, please.
Yeah,
Thanks.
we have a lot. And if there's anyone else who you think would be a really good asset and would benefit from being part of these discussions, please forward this any information on the Local Wellness Coalition to them. I know the website's a little outdated, and I'm going to get to it to update it more. But we really want to make this a really healthy, strong coalition. So thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and have a good rest of your night and week, and stay warm. All right. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.